John, did you grab another sandwich? Oh, got a cup of noodles. All right.
Start it out.
Bring us up a little bit higher. Feeling right, feeling good. All right. Thank everybody so much for coming out. We're doing a little Estuary open mic, and currently no signups. So we're gonna move past the open mic into the main part of the evening. All right, we're doing the roast of Estuary. It's my last day. They let me go. Should have got me out the building faster. You didn't do it. Uh-oh. It's a coming. So, a night like tonight, I've been so excited for. Because, putting this thing online, putting this thing out there for everybody, having the people that I care about the most out to see a comedy night that I've been so excited to do. Thank you. I'd like to say it's like a preliminary feeler for future employers. If you like this, we're probably gonna get along. If you don't like this, then you should probably throw out that application, because this is gonna be real. I'm calling out the industry a little bit. It's gonna be fun. So, I wanna start the evening off with talking about my experiences in restaurants as a whole. I've been doing this for 17 years or so. Most of it has been lovely experiences with people like all of you. However, the people that usually pay me, not so good on the experience side of things. I'm sure we've all had our wonderful memories there. But, my first time I was ever really fired from a restaurant, this is going back like over 10 years ago, my dad actually had me fired. I used to work for one of his restaurants, Chili's out in New Hampshire. What's up? Granite State. Power went out in his house one day, and I, of course, living in his house, he shakes me awake after I missed my alarm that isn't working because the power went out. And he's like, "You need to go to work right now." So I get in the car, drive 45 minutes out to the Chili's I was working at, and the general manager standing there, terrified. Like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but your dad says you're fired." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "And you need to go home." I was like, "Okay." Like, that's interesting. So on my way home, I actually contacted the summer camp that I had been employed at for a number of years in my adolescent years, and got a job. Met some of the best friends of my life over there, and then jumped right back into the restaurant business because I was like, what? Working with kids? This is lovely. I should stay late at bars and restaurants. I like that. Feels good. One of my first experiences at a restaurant in New York City was at a little place that definitely went under 2 weeks after I left. Interesting story. Called Empire Biscuit. That spot had a little guy called John Price. He was the owner over there, and he was a psychopath. He used to do this thing where he'd label his walls. Like, he'd invite me over, like look like a very well put together man. It's like, I'd love to hang out with you. You have like degrees, you have a business. He's like a cool person to hang out with. Went to his house, no furniture anywhere, just Sharpie writing everywhere on like white walls. It was like, these are my inner thoughts. I have all of my outfits hung up on hooks 1 through 15 for 2 weeks, and then a mystery day of outfits. And don't look at that wall because that has my most innermost thoughts. I was like, oh, okay. I came over to like split a bottle of wine and talk about books, and now I'm trying to like find the exit. It's like labyrinth of Sharpie notes everywhere. And went back into work a couple days later, went to go open the restaurant. And as I'm opening, he comes in like in a drunken stupor, as some of our owners might do. And he decided to press me up against a wall and like literally smash me up against the wall. I was like, "You fucking idiot. I told you not to open the thing. Didn't you see the email?" And I was like, I don't have a company email here. You never mentioned this once. I'm like essentially like a cashier. Like you pay me like $10 an hour on like tips. Like I run your fucking place. Like the overnight restaurant manager. Like I get out like 9 o'clock in the morning. It was interesting. But yeah, so he smashed me up against a wall a couple times, and I decided I'm not gonna punch him in the face. I'm not gonna go down that route. I'm gonna wait till the busiest night of his year. A couple weeks later, New Year's Eve, big thing for the biscuit restaurant down in Alphabet City. Big time for biscuits, it's New Year's Eve. No call, no show, quit on the spot. I definitely went under 2 weeks later. That's what you get for putting your employees up against a wall. I know, look at me, complaining about getting abused. Don't worry, there's more abuse coming. Oh. All right, anyway, so, you know, coming back on those subway rides home, 9 o'clock in the morning, looking at everybody else with like all their prospects going to their like normie jobs, where you're like, Tashina, she like left restaurants to like go work in like legal offices or something. I think she has weekends or something. It's insane. No, she doesn't have weekends. But I wanted to tell people that you had weekends. I really hope that for black people. Someone give her a job with a weekend, please. Please. Tashina's looking for a weekend. Yeah. Hey, someone give her a weekend. That's all she needs. You know, my next restaurant that was pretty cool was Buena Vista, a spot that, you know, going into the pandemic, after building up his restaurant and making sure that good catch, yeah, but making sure that his restaurant like didn't go under, and I like became his general manager, again being a lead server, $10 an hour, and getting an envelope with my cash tips at the end of like my service would be like $400 to a T every single time. You're like, I've never had my tips skimmed from me before. This is interesting. I've never seen a tip report at the end of the night. Like, no. Why would people need to do that? No. So, you know, pandemic came. He definitely withheld about $3,000 of money that I was owed. To you know, contact out to me afterwards, be like, listen, man, like, why try to reach out to the state? Like, I'll pay you like $1,000. Oh, cool. You know, like I need to pay rent, so we called it cool. But now I'm doing this. What's up, Christian? How you doing? You know, Christian was the sort of guy that used to have a fine Latin cuisine spot, and then he if Paul Giamatti would come in, he would like sit down next to him, and, like take like a thumbs up photo, like it was a pizza shop. It was like, what are we doing? This is Latin cuisine. Like this is fine Latin cuisine. This is what restaurant owners think is fine Latin cuisine. Interesting. Thumbs up to that, Daddy-o. So I got out of there. And he keeps contacting. I actually had to block him. He keeps trying to get me to be his like manager. I'm like, you didn't pay me. He's like, yes, but I see you're doing well. So run my restaurant. I'm like, blocked. Like, delete WhatsApp. So that's why I don't have that, because he's scary. But, you know, next spot I worked at, a little place called Citibank Fine Dining. It was a top of the world, beautiful executive spot. I actually had weekends off over there. Pretty cool. Except for my psychopath manager and owner over there, little Egyptian man who would like just see if you were moving. Like if you were moving, then you were working, which is, I think anybody who's worked here, I might have given you that advice. Yeah, it's like if you see your bosses walk in the room, start to wipe down a table. They usually don't notice you. Clean the TV. If you're standing there and there's nothing to clean, drop to the floor and start to clean that with whatever's in your pockets. And then, as Miri and I know, we've done this one before, start stacking and unstacking plates. Do that one. Do that, you know, put forks over here, forks back over here. It's good. That one usually works. They usually don't notice you there. It's like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. It's like, don't move and they won't see you. Or like, do move, like a robot. They'll think you're a good little subject. Like, yeah, fine spending of $16 an hour. You believe that? They're making a minimum wage here. Disgusting. Ugh. Never heard that one before. Don't worry, I'm not coming back to work here. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, no, after I was let go from the Citibank spot for the fact that I was like first or last in, first out, that whole fun thing. Then they went under like a couple months later with the whole COVID thing. So a lot of these industries did, like especially ours, like the restaurant. We haven't come back, man. It's been bad out here, but you know, we're trying to make it by. So you know, one of the last things about a restaurant before I get into some things over here is that there's always an interesting character in every restaurant. I work with one who's shoving noodles in his face over there right now. His name's John Maroon. But before John Maroon at Buena Vista, I had another guy named Richard. He was wonderful. Richard was like a 60-year-old man, like a 60-year-old gay man from Boston who like dressed and looked like Donald Trump, but he like didn't act like Donald Trump. He was like the most flamboyant person you've ever met, and like, but he knew he looked like Donald Trump. So he'd be like outside of the restaurant, like, and again, very much John energy, but just gay man from Boston, looking like Donald Trump. Just be like, I'm Donald Trump's gay brother, but they don't keep me in the will. Come on in and eat with us. And you're like, Jesus Christ. And he would fill the restaurant up. Like, I don't know how he did it. He's still over there right now. He got the restaurant through COVID. It's a wild thing. So, the next person I'm going to talk about is John. John, you've been such an interesting person in my life. And this isn't just roasting restaurants, this is also roasting former employees and friends, and talking about some good times too. But John, he's a good and bad time, so we get to talk about all of that. So, you know, recently we had like pounds and pounds of flour go missing, like 20, 40 pounds of flour, and we had to like recently tell John that that's not cocaine, and you can fucking stop putting that shit up your nose. Getting a little doughy here, Poppy. Getting doughy. It's not energy powder. It's cookie powder, and it's going to your tummy. Stop putting that in your nose. You gotta order it from a real drug dealer. You can't go steal it from the back. Doesn't work like the bar. You can't go take the booze, so you can't go take the cocaine. They don't have no cocaine, that's not flour, that's just flour. Come on, Johnny. I know, listen. It doesn't feel right. Yeah. Yeah, somehow John got through like the sexual harassment training like 5 times. And he just keeps getting worse and worse at it. Like he's like, no, I've been trained in it really good. I'm very good at sexually harassing. I'm like, no, buddy, stop signing that. That's not. I think like the last time he watched it, it was in Spanish. And I was like, John, what are you doing? He's like, it's different this time. It's like, yeah, but you're not learning anything. So, you know. It's been hard to try to like not make pages and pages. I got like all of my sermon of things to talk about here, not to make like 2 full pages about you, John. Well, I want you to keep putting noodles in your mouth. I'm upset that we couldn't make you more spaghetti tonight. I fucking always want spaghetti. You know, he's like definitely a womanizer. He's like, I think hit on every woman in this room, but everyone still likes him. Like we're all okay with it. I don't know how it happens. Hit him like my fiance before. It's like very interesting. Well, you know, fucking John, am I right? But he would womanize his own mother if he was blind. You know, he could definitely be like feels right, and she'd be like Johnny, stop, and he'd be like, oh, he's already comes knowing my name. Like John, stop, that's your mother. Like, oh. I was actually talking to I always tell stories about you to my British best friend over, or he'd be like, I'm Welsh. My best friend Steve over in England, after all the stories I've told him about you, he's like, my image of him is the Dice Man. Like, and at first I was like, no. And now it's like, yeah, like I know that you emulate Sebastian Maniscalco, but you are the Dice Man. You don't mean to be. You're like Arabic and German, and somehow 100% Italian just because of how Brooklyn you are, growing up in this neighborhood. They can't like people have tried to fire you for years. You stick to here like a skid mark in the back of a trucker's fucking pants. I don't know what's happening, buddy. We can't get rid of you. It's like my grandpa's type 1 diabetes. You're here to stay. Oh man, Johnny. No, it's okay though. No, it's okay. Like, you know, for a while we had a certain customer that would come in here that had reminded a certain amount of us of the baby reindeer thing. And John recently finally watched it and he was like, yo, that whole situation was baby reindeer. And then he got into some interesting things about like other women that keep like the amount of women that I've had to record him going to his house and from his house so that someone doesn't attack him. That's not a joke. John, you need help. He's still eating noodles. He's enjoying this. He's like, num, 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 we can't stop. Johnny boy. So, Johnny, I'm gonna move on from you, but I just wish I could keep talking about you. But one of the first chefs that was ever here when I started, his name was Jonathan Rodriguez, and he was probably the only good chef that I ever worked with over here. Loved the man. Then he moved on to bigger, better things, which is what I'm hoping for every one of you here, because I love every one of you here that showed up. You guys are fucking awesome people. But one of my first days working here, I tried to like make an impression, like wanted to make my coworkers think that I'm a cool guy. Him and like Chef Eddie are sitting in the office, and they're like shooting the shit, and I come back there and like interject in their conversation, like oh yeah, I've seen that movie, and, like deadpan stares at me, like very, very quiet. And he just goes, Ryan, your mother ever tell you not everybody's your best friend? And I was like, oh, noted, okay, thank you. And like just gonna move on from that. But he was like, that's the only bad thing I can say about him. It's not even bad, it was just funny. Like, he was a great man. Wish the best for you, chef. But for all the other chefs, like the next one, the biggest one, the Chef Dennis one. Bum, bum, ba, 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 bum, ba, bum. No, but he was seriously like a 400-pound man, and he was like the angriest man that I ever saw. Like he was busting a gasket every fucking weekend. It was insane. Repairville was wild, but he would sit in the back, like in the office over here, and like shovel pasta Alfredo into his face. John, don't kick the computer, the small handheld computer. It's called a cell phone. Oh, John, I'm so worried about this.
John, don't.
He did it. Okay, thank God. He made it. All right, everybody clap for John. He did it. All right. No, but anyway, so this 400-pound chef would give me dieting and exercise advice, like shoveling pasta Alfredo into his face, like onto his fifth plate of it, just like, listen, buddy. Hey, listen, you gotta work on your fasting. That's what's not happening for you. You gotta concentrate on a meal plan, like I. And he's like, no, this is the body I'm looking for. Like, plan for what you're looking for. I'm going for chef. Like, I'm going for fast order chef. In a spot with a beautiful view. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the right spot for you, man. But if you ever want to know what he was like, go back onto Yelp around 2022 for Estuary and look at all the crazy people talking about a chef yelling from the outside patio, giving us crazy Yelp reviews, bringing my Yelp review score from 4.5 down to a 3.5. I had to give away like bottles of wine to my staff to like pimp them out to tables, like go tell them to put your name in you remember, Justin, your roommate Spencer got too many of them. So you put your name in a goddamn review, you get like 5 of them, bottle of wine. And then like Spencer would just collect like hundreds of bottles of wine. I was like, and then brought us back up into the 4s. So, a lot of those Yelp reviews, I definitely didn't convince people to get, talk to their tables with bottles of wine. But so we're gonna continue on. Our next chef, after like about about a half year interim with none, where I was, my fiance over here, Vanita, beautiful woman, who's been with me here in my life for 10 years, dating for 5, working together for 3, laid off together as well. So that's been pretty cool. Thanks, Estuary, learning that one. But so we got to work very closely with another chef called Chef Sebastian. After she was our chef in the interim, we used our bakery turbo chef to make like what was it, like chicken tenders, pizza, and like bottled beer. Yeah, grilled cheese. And we were at a restaurant with me and my fiance, just chugging us through to the next month. And now pass off the torch to Laika, and I'm gonna let her chug through the next couple months, see if she can do the one-man band, hand her my trumpet and my the whole band kit. What is this goddamn drum? It's got a xylophone. It's got a little piano on there. It's gonna be the whole day. Like, you know, you've seen the one-man band. I'm not him anymore. So that's you. You have to do that. I'm very sorry. It's unfortunate. But last chef that I'm going to talk about before is not having a chef for a year. It is making it happen. Was Chef Sebastian. Tricked everybody with his little fuents. So fancy. So fancy, man. Sent more than 5 tickets to the man, though. He'd be like, it's a backup. So, like, the tickets, what are you? Trying to burn down the restaurant? Like, I cannot do this. Like, when he, like, left with his, like 5th time threatening to leave the restaurant, like, I'm going to leave for real. Like, I'd, like, pack up his suitcase and walk out, and I'm like, okay, you gonna do it this time? Like, finally, he went through, like, all of my tablecloths in the thing and, like, would put them all over the line to, like, do burger service. Like, look at that, table service, Michelin star. Like chefs are just an interesting breed over here. We just get so many of them until we didn't get any more. Until they stopped showing up. No, there was none. Do you see a chef? I see me. I see we call ourselves chef because we are the only chef here. What's up, chef? How you doing, chef? She's the only chef I actually like, actually. She's the only good chef. That's good. But, you know, I did hire Sebastian. I convinced this place to do it because he tricked me with his little French lure too. But move on from that. You know, like restaurant owners though, they're like kind of like Nazis at the end of World War II. They're like, Andy, we're not bad guys, are we, Gabby? They're like, no, not at all. Forget the little Jews we get from summer camp. Get an extended stay. 3 square meals a month. What's the bad thing over here? This guy? Oh no, come on, I'm not a bad guy. What's the matter? But you know, I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm just saying metaphors, saying what comes to mind. Interesting thoughts. But you know, one of my favorite memories over here was Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz became like regulars in the restaurant. And it was all because I'm bad at faces. So I didn't realize I was serving them, like, at all. Like, they come in the restaurant, it's like Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, and I look at them, I'm like, and I see their dog, and they're like, can we get a seat with the dog? It's like, yeah, it's a service dog, right? And they're like, what? I was like, it's a service dog, right? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, then come right this way, guys. Like, only talking to the dog the entire time. And, like, sit them down, like, go talk, is like, who is that over there? She's like, don't go over the table yet. She doesn't notice who it is yet. I don't notice who it is. I'm looking at them. I finally take their orders. They want like chicken for the dog, which I'm like making fun of them for. I'm like, that's interesting. No seasoning for the dog's chicken, chef. Like, you know, bring it out to them. Bring the food out to Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz. Pay them no mind. Only talk to their dog. I'm just like, oh, look at that. You're finishing the food. Oh, I like to look at Javier Bardem. Like, oh, you're not even finishing your food, man. What, you can't keep up with the puppy? Like, you don't get to do what you like? And he's laughing. His family's laughing. I think that I told him we didn't have, like, chicken tenders because the bakery manager told me not to tell people we had chicken tenders. If I knew it was famous people, I probably would have pulled the chicken tenders out of the freezer. But, like, you know, I was real with them until, like, Leica came out and saw them and panicked. Like, Ryan, who you been serving for the past hour? Like, I don't know, like a Spanish-speaking family? They seem very nice. They do know English. Their kids are very fluent in English. But they definitely have accents. I might include a tip, I don't know. And she's like, that's Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, you know? Like, flip a coin. It's like, oh! Yeah. Like I wanted to give him a coin afterwards, but I'm not gonna give your change back, like the coin, but it'd be cool. But it was amazing. They actually came back in multiple times just because I didn't know who they were. Then all of a sudden, the guy who played Vision, I know who his name is. Forget. Like he came in, forgot his goddamn name. His wife came in, just shot the shit with them and just talked to them about like my catering company. They're like, ooh, that sounds like fun. Maybe we'll come to that. Until again, John was like, did you notice who that was speaking to at the bar? I was like, no, not at all. Why would I do that? Why would I notice any of that shit? And he's like, it's the guy from goddamn Master and Commander. You kidding me? Like, oh, just Vision. It's a Marvel superhero, just an Avenger. And I just shot the shit with him. Like, to put like sailing videos on the TV. He was like, "That's dumb." I was like, "I know. They make me play it here." Okay. Javier Bardem at one point had commented too. He was like, "It's kind of dark in here." I was like, "I know. My restaurant owners make me keep it fucking low. It's kind of dingy." I turned it down real low today because we're doing comedy. Well, you know, that's how that stuff works. Actually, that's where we're getting off to next is some of my current favorite owners of mein Restaurant. Mein current and last day of mein Restaurant. It's okay. I think I might leave the host stand outside one last time. You know, this year I wasn't allowed to hire on a host or a busser or a bar back or an expo or a chef, most of a kitchen, but I did get to pretend to be the host myself, and I'd have like my one server also be the host, the server, the bartender, the busser, like we'd all like feel like a dancing, jumping band, right? Like, we're doing it, we're jumping through hoops for you, we're making it happen. And people are like, "Why is there glasses on the table?" I'm like, "I don't know, maybe because we were trying to figure out how to get the host stand outside. Be the host." But one of them, he one of his favorite things was watching lights, wondering why the host stand was outside, and I'd always remind him, because we didn't hire a host. Can we hire a host? And he'd like walk away. I'm like, okay. Verdict's still out on that one. Jury's still out. We'll see if we're gonna get a host. I still don't see one. It's my final day. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. He was a master of telling people to put umbrellas up during gale force winds. He was the king of telling people to put our aluminum furniture up when it would blow away in a hurricane. I think there was like one time, like it actually like, just missed hitting a baby, like your Lily-sized baby. Like a 1-year-old baby, like where it was like a basketball suit, like almost just like slammed him, like during a windstorm. It's like, I just put it down. He's like, "Well, you should put it back up." It's like, I'll tell everybody it's your idea. Like, you are my boss. You are so smart. He loved to tell me that we were operating as a bar when we should be operating as a restaurant. But he would never let me paint the ceilings like white to make it like a restaurant. It's always like dark and dingy, like the light's really dark. Then I'd like turn them up like a restaurant, like he said, like a restaurant. He'd be like, "What are you trying to be, like a bar or a restaurant?" I was like, "Restaurant today." And he'd be like, "Bar, wrong." And they're like, "Okay." They're like, "Okay." And it's like, why don't we just tell people to serve food at the restaurant themselves? And be like, "Okay." So like bar, be like, "Nope." Restaurant, be like, "Nope." "Okay, very good." Be like, "We have to like only serve potato chips and French fries, and we're gonna be a restaurant." It's like, "Bar?" It's like, "No, still a restaurant." Like, okay, that's interesting. But what if we bring the lights up? He'd be like, "Well, then that would be a restaurant, and then we'd look like a bar." And I don't like that. I was like, "Are you having a stroke? Like, are you okay? Do you smell cold peanut butter? Like, are you tasting cold peanut butter? Are you smelling burnt toast? You okay? What's going on with you?" I don't know if he was ever okay. Like, he still like never looked me in the eye. It's okay though. But we all figured it out. We all got by without looking him in the eye as well. He used to take pictures of my staff who'd work very, very hard, 14-hour days, like of them like just sitting down for the first time. So the last couple of weeks of my employment here, I started taking pictures of him, taking pictures of people, taking pictures of, and that scared him off the floor. It was like he has the power that I hold. How you know to do that? Take picture of me? No. I picture you, and I was like, "Yes, picture back at you." He's like, into the shadows he goes. It's amazing. Just like scare him off. It's like hit him with a fucking little like Windex spritzer or something. So great. One of the only people and the upper people that I will fucking miss, and I'll give him a little name drop, is Mr. Michael. He was the greatest person I've ever worked with. 75-year-old Romanian guy who like got his citizenship from like instantly fighting in Vietnam as soon as he got over here. I saw him do crazy, like he would like act like he's okay all the time, and then he'd go in the back and just like stab boxes for a while until like I'd make it known, like maybe like, and he'd like pretend like he was like breaking the box down, and like I just watched him for 5 minutes. It's like, "Do you have a flashback? Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine." But he got to the age where he could like talk to you and just food would just fly out of his mouth. But like no one would stop him. I think I started wearing glasses again just to like shield myself from it. Like it was great. Like he would like purposely drink a bunch of water, eat like eggs, and then like talk to you and like shoot it out all over your face. Like unless you had like a visor or something. But it was awesome. Like he just didn't give a shit. I can't wait to get to the level of not giving a shit like him. He's the best. Like at one point he's sitting in front of my other owners and he like knocked over like all the napkins. And I was like, Mr. Michael, you just knocked over all the napkins. He goes, oh, okay. And he picks them up off the ground. He offers the owner a napkin. He's like, hey, you want a floor napkin? I was like that's him. He don't care. I love it. It's so funny. But he's the sort of guy that like knows every single person in Brooklyn. Like I think at one point I told him that I like paid an appropriate price for getting my car inspected. He's like, you didn't pay $50? I was like, I needed to get an oil change too. He's like, and you paid more than $50? Like upset. He's like, you never do that again without contacting me. And that's the sort of connections you get from restaurants. Some of the stuff I really love about this place. He's one of the ones that I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss all of you guys and him. And you know, moving on from him, one of my other owners, who will remain unnamed, but she certainly put me through the ringer. She put me through a lot. She had given me sort of promises, you know, fever dreams. At certain points, you know, honey, give me 3 months notice, a month to 3 months notice if you're ever gonna go somewhere. And I'd say to her, you give me 3 months notice, 1 to 3 months notice as well. She's like, I would do that, honey. At least a month's notice. I think I texted her last week and I haven't heard back yet, so maybe I gotta text back now, Mom. You know, anyway. I want a divorce from my parents. No, but yeah, you guys fired me. We're fine. It's okay. But one of her favorite things, and I think I will definitely name my one-man band about it, which I think that you should name your one-man band about it now, Leica, is Door, Door, Door. Wow. She loved to say, there's a person walking in. I said, door, door, door. I'm running some food to you. Ryan dropped the food. I said, door, door, door. I'm shaking a cocktail for you. She screams, door, door, door. Estelle, I'm making a cocktail for you. She said, door, 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 door. Anyway, so that's the song that she is going to be having me do on that. But, you know, a little bit just about this industry, though, you know? I think, oh, you know, the door. Actually, I see them over there, and inside my head, like, door, door, door. I was like, oh, like, oh, like, oh. But I actually do have nightmares about this place. Like her screaming door is one of them. Sometimes I'm cleaning the patio, and there's like this group called the Sale Club, and it's like endlessly coming in. There's like dirty dishes everywhere, and they're all not saying hi to you. I'm like, hi, hi, hi. One of my favorite things is one of them for like 3 years has called me Kyle. And then I started just calling him Kyle back. He's like, what's up, Kyle? I'm like, nothing much, Kyle. He's like, I'm Greg. I'm like, I'm Ryan. He's like, okay, Kyle. I'm like, hi, Kyle. So we just Kyle each other to death. Today he tried to give me the keys to his boat or whatever over the marina, and I was like, I wouldn't do that. They inspired me. I might take it. Like, you'd probably drop that off yourself, Kyle. He looked at me and was like, that's not my name. I was like, me either. And then kept going. Kyled him one more time out the door. But fucking great. But this industry, you know, it turns you into a flogged dog after a while. You know, you go through so many bad owners, you go through so many bad people that you just start being subservient to bad stuff. You know, like, hey, at least they're gonna give me a paycheck. At least they're gonna give me like 20 hours. Like maybe I'm not gonna make it this month, but maybe they're gonna make it for me next month. They're gonna give me a promise. That's all I'm gonna get through. But all this sort of crap, you know, it's just not really worth it in the end. And that's why I think I'm kind of coming out here to say something about this industry and really hoping that it gets through to you guys who are my people who've been through this industry. You know, again, the nightmares, the endless tables, the things that I don't want to live through again. I'm going right now to a new spot. They're giving me 3 weeks to start, which is unheard of. Before I start, they actually invited me to their employee wellness retreat program. They're like, we shut the restaurant down to go hiking once like a month. And then we go yoga after. If you want to come, I know you're moving. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have 401k options and benefits and all that. So sorry. And I'm like, yeah, it's insane. It's like a restaurant. Yeah, come out to see me. They're gonna do comedy out there too. It's called The Other Side Wine Bar out in Glen Cove. I'm gonna be their new front of house manager. Can't wait. It's gonna be great. But I want to tell everybody a lot that I've learned from here. The 3.5 years that I thought would own up to something that I think really did, that I had to think about, you know? It really did become something because I really learned the value of standing up for yourself. You know, I really learned the value of not falling for it. Because I fell for it. I'm falling for it for years. You don't realize it, but your options start to close down as soon as you start getting older and older. Right now, I'm stuck in restaurants, but I'm trying to make something out of it. You know, after all these crazy chefs that I talked about, I jumped in the East River. I got, I did. Comedy night here almost 1 year ago. You know, it was well, let me get it, so I'll talk to him about it real quick. About a year ago, so the 20th of October, about a year ago, we started our comedy nights here. And I started drinking and drinking and worse. It's like a COVID had started really bad, and then like an abusive restaurant where you're like, I'm gonna do like I got hired on as the manager, and like, but you're the event coordinator, and you're the social media coordinator, and you're the chef, and you're the busser, and you're the runner, and why are there no plates, and door, and all of this, and like after a while you just start being like who am I? Like what are we even doing here? You know, like you're throwing me off so bad.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like, oh my god. I was like, my god, threw me off really bad. Somebody put me on to where I was. I was on a little thing. Door. Thank you so much. All right. This is why they tell you not to talk in a comedy special. I love you, Katrina, though. Yeah, I was staring directly at you. No, it's okay. You guys are my people. This is not a real comedy night. This is a roast of Estuary and a talk with some of my friends and my people. But oh yeah, back to why I jumped in that East River. So that's what it was. Yes, jumped. So I might have got a little blackout drunk over here. Might have been a little fun. And it was 2 weeks after one of my chefs, the French one, after he saw some kids like going into the marina, and he was like, I'm going to go stop them. So he went to go stop them. He ran onto the marina, and he ran right off the docks and ran like it was a cartoon. He plopped right into the East River. He was there, then his hat was there, and he I saw my life flash before my eyes. He like almost drowned. There was a ladder right in front of him. Like I pulled him up. He was okay. It was very, very funny though. He was not drunk. He was completely fine. Me 2 weeks later, I'm with my mother-in-law, blackout drunk, going down from a comedy night over here. Let's go look at the end of the pier. She had just mentioned, I'm gonna go to I want to see what, like, I couldn't even jump off the end of this pier if I wanted to. The thing's too high. She's 5 feet tall. She's a little cutie. She's tiny. But I was like, I can, and I did. And I have my little Harry Potter mark here to prove it. I've never seen so many scuba divers, EMS, and police pull up. It was interesting. But that was my last day drinking, and after that, they decided to like put a fucking event over here this past year, where they like have people pay money to jump into the East River. Would have been put on by like Red Bull Sports or something. I was like, motherfuckers, I was doing that for it was cool. I jumped in head first, hit my head off the side of the pier. You guys put a big inflatable over there. I did the cool way. We did it original OG Brooklyn style. But you know, after years and years of abuse, sometimes you get some clarity after like almost drowning. And then everyone likes to remind me like the amount of sharks that are in the East River after it's been cleaned up. Or the amount of like junk that's in there, the amount of like biohazards that are in there. Like oh, good luck it wasn't high tide. Like, oh, that's so good. So like, you know, after all that, you stop drinking and you start your own company. And I did that with my friends. And the company's called The Dining Collective. And it's a workers-owned co-op. It's going to be an amazing thing. We've already been throwing events all year. Right now we've been doing THC tasting events with like 4-course tastings with our chefs, Charlie and Jordan. We do events monthly. I'll be doing stuff over at the Other Side Wine Bar. I'll be doing things throughout the next, I think our next one's going to be on the 9th of November. Love to have you guys. Check us out on Instagram. It's the Dining Collective NYC. Pretty cool fucking spot. Hoping to fix some wrongs in this business, make it right. Make it worker zone, make people not have to go through all this sort of nightmare. But you know, come to my new restaurant And I also want to say to anybody that just lost their job here, or anybody that's going through a tough time, please let me work on your resume and let me give you the best recommendation of your life. I also have a team of people that are going to work on your resume. So send it over here, rfay03031@gmail.com. I love you guys. All right, thank you so much for coming out tonight. And let's do it. Come to my new restaurant, the Other Side Wine Bar. You guys are the best. I'm going to start some karaoke.